I got to keep Scotty in his chair now because this topic we're talking about EA Sports and college football, and some of the rankings have been released. And I guess they just released more about Dynasty mode this year for EA Sports and college football.
Yeah, they just put out the Dynasty deep dive like 40 minutes ago,
Yeah.
and as soon as we hit the outro on this, I'm watching it. I got to get into it, man.
So you play online,
yeah,
with your friends.
Yep.
And you have a Dynasty mode that my only question, I admire it and I'm sort of jealous. Are you all able to stay on top of it? And play the game.
So this is the first year we're going to do it because last year it wasn't cross-play. So last year you could only cross-play on like individual games. So we play the heck against each other like all the time, just like games. But Dynasty, for whatever reason, last year, I guess they just didn't develop it fast enough. You couldn't play cross-platform. Like I have an Xbox, they have PlayStation.
Oh,
whatever.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just didn't do it. So this is the first year that we're doing it. I did get nominated and elected to commission the Dynasty, so I'm on top of it. I kind of teased a couple weeks ago when I hosted the show. We went through a lot of debate and even an official Google poll to like determine how we were going to structure this. Right now, our plan is you just have to play 2 games a week. I think that's really manageable for anybody. And then, I'm so excited. I've shared this before. I'm excited to play against the guys, but we already do that. I'm really excited about Online Dynasty to recruit against them. And I'm going to be a jerk, dude. I'm going to go see I'm going to specifically see who they're going after and who I want to try to like swipe from them. And I have no doubt they will do that to me because that's what you do with your best friends. Like, you go try to screw each other over. It's going to be great.
It will. It sounds like a lot of fun. It also sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. But like, again, if it's 2 games a week, that's like an hour and a half every week. And then if you're recruiting, like, even if you're the most hardcore player of this game, like each week of recruiting shouldn't take you.
Just stay on top of your stuff. You have a beautiful young daughter. You have a job here. You're picking up more work. All right. Just you're running things at the road.
So I have to do something for fun, Pete, and this is what I'm doing.
All right, there you go.
By the way, we're doing
FC Dallas.
We're doing something fun on Saturday.
Yeah. We'll have an FC Dallas review. We're going to check out FC Dallas. First time for me. Taking Christy, taking Caden, and Scotty's going to roll. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So let's see some of these rankings, Scotty. You are not a fan of some of these, and I think first of all, Sawyer Robertson getting an 88 is low, right? I don't like that at all.
So I'm not going to call it low until I see
the other
quarterbacks are ranked.
Yeah.
If the highest quarterback in the game is like a 92, then here I'm going to reposition this so we can all see.
On that list, the most exciting part for me is Bryson Washington at 9. that really is like, okay, like the rest of the world.
That's respect. Yeah.
And
he's that good, by the way.
Yeah.
Like he's worthy of that.
The Franklin Tornado. Do they call him the Franklin Tornado?
I don't call him.
They should.
That.
I was here for the Franklin Tornado.
Pretty good. Yeah. Keaton Thomas obviously getting some big respect. The most surprising to me was Josh Cameron being so high. I think I've heard even amongst some of my friends, there's like this, Josh Cameron, like all conference punt returner, but is he like a true dog number 1 receiver? And I've always said yes,
dude.
My answer to that is yes, but I think he's so like he's not prototypical, right? And so I think. But so I love.
What do you mean? Like he's not long enough?
Yeah, like he's not particularly tall. Yeah. He's not the same build as you would see like a typical like number 1 receiver. But like that doesn't bother me. It's college football. Like the dude makes the catches, gets the yards after the catch, and scores.
I have
touchdowns.
a warning for defensive backs all across the Big 12. If it's the first time you're playing Josh Cameron, like you will be picking yourself up off the ground if you try to hit him over the middle, right? Like literally, like you want to talk about it.
And if you're trying to cover him on the outside, he is going to leave you in the dust at some point.
Yes.
And it's not just speed, it's route running, it's all of it. Like he's just good.
Josh Cameron is really a problem for the opposition because 1, all the things we just talked about, and 2, the dude, as good of a kid as he is, he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Hey, Scotty B just said that too. Scotty B says Josh outworks.
Yes, the guy was a preferred walk-on, but he was a walk-on nonetheless. And by the way, I can tell you that there were other opportunities this summer for Josh Cameron to go other places and to make a little more scratch. And guess what he did? He stayed right here.
Sick him.
If you can't get behind and root for Josh Cameron. I don't know who I'm talking to right now. But
some of my buddies.
Oh, yeah, some of your buddies. Yeah.
They root for Josh Cameron. They're like, oh, he's not a true number one. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Well,
you're out of your mind.
You know, there's a lot of excitement coming into this year. And I think that, like, I do, if I'm taking off my rose-colored glasses and putting on my football ones, I kind of see the point that these guys are making, your friends. But at the same time, I believe that his like edge and grit will exceed
I just look
any
at this.
ceiling his physical ability.
And by the way, these rankings are not proof of anything because like they had Daquan Finn ranked pretty highly last year, if we're being honest, right? Yeah, sure. But it is a testament to say.
Do you remember what his ranking was? DQ?
Like an 86, probably.
Really?
It was really high. It was really high. Like, and again, so these rankings don't actually prove an argument.
No, you mean they won't make the guy play better?
It says that the scouts or the developers or whoever helps develop these saw Josh Cameron's tape and was like, oh my God, that's a great receiver, right? Like, that's what that says.
Yeah.
The others that surprised me, Travion Barnes at 87, the FIU transfer.
Okay.
That is very high. And it's very high because, too, my most intriguing comment Dave Aranda made at the conclusion of spring camp was he said, and I quote, Phoenix Jackson is the best player on this defense when healthy. That's the transfer linebacker from Fresno State.
Whoa.
He said the words. I had to listen to it again. I was like, he did not just say that. He said Phoenix Jackson's the best player when he's healthy.
Really?
So I think between Keaton Thomas, who proved it last year, all-conference, first-team all-conference last season, right? Keaton Thomas, Travion Barnes, who's probably right now slated to start next to him, and Phoenix Jackson, who had a little injury in spring camp, but hopefully coming back. You've got three linebackers that can ball. You know, that's exciting. Obviously, you're replacing Matt Jones, but like apparently the talent's there. I was pleasantly surprised. Dawson Pendergrass at 85. That feels really high to me. Dawson's a great player, but like that's pretty high, dude. Like,
dude, if you look at his like production as far as like touches are concerned, like he's pretty prolific.
I mean, obviously they agree with you. Like so. By the way,
East Texas boy.
Let me just tell you how I play this video game. When I am playing with Baylor, I will run a custom playbook where we regularly run the triple option.
Okay.
Because it will be Dawson, it will be Bryson, and I'm gonna just put Caden Jenkins back there too, and we'll just run the heck out of the triple option.
What are your thoughts on Caden Jenkins?
Not Caden Jenkins. I'm so sorry. I said that because that's my next topic. Caden Knighton.
Yeah. Okay.
The freshman running back.
What Caden Knighton? What do you know about him? Tell me about him real quick.
4-star from Oklahoma City. He was the best running back in the state of Oklahoma last year. Came in early, played in spring camp. All reports from spring camp, Baylor fans are he's Treston Ebner. And if you were here when Treston Ebner was at Baylor, that's high praise. So a guy that's going to probably behind Josh Cameron, but be a returner, be a threat to catch a lot of passes out of the backfield, which I think next to Bryson and Dawson, that's something you need.
Yeah.
Because Bryson can, but that's not his number one skill. Dawson's not a threat, running a route. Caden Knighton is. And supposedly just like that freaky, twitchy, athletic type of back. Like, I can't wait to see him play. I can't wait.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Three-headed monster back there. Okay, I said Caden Jenkins because I got ahead of myself. Pete, as a Baylor fan, I am rooting for Caden Jenkins. I need Caden Jenkins.
Is he a sophomore or junior this year?
He's going into his junior year.
Yeah. He played as a true freshman.
As a true freshman, I think he had 5-6 picks?
Yeah, he was Big 12.
All-American. Freshman All-American.
Yes. Yeah.
Last season, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I don't want to talk crap about the kid.
Yeah, of course.
Regularly targeted by opposing teams. Regularly beaten by opposing wide receivers. I think squarely disappointing for fans who wanted to see more of what he did his freshman year. I hope it was a one season anomaly. I hope there was an injury I didn't know about. Maybe it's just a mental thing. People have tough seasons. Like, that's fine. I was really surprised he's an 84, Pete. Really surprised he's an 84. I don't know. And this is where I'm like, I don't know what these EA guys are looking at. Maybe they didn't watch any tape from last season. They just looked at.
Or maybe you look at a bio and you see freshman All-American.
Yeah, or they looked at
it's almost like a 5-star.
Like he was probably an 84. I think he was like an 83 and 84 in last year's game.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, we'll just like keep him around there. And I'm like, yeah, he wasn't the same player last season. Like I might have him.
He had a rough go.
Like I mean,
there was a lot of excitement.
Don't come at me, Baylor fans or Baylor players, but I mean, if I were ranking EA Sports Baylor players, most of these are pretty accurate, and Caden might be a 77.
Wow, really?
I mean, Pete, dude, like, well, that whole secondary struggled last year, and the pass rush struggled last year. So defending the pass was hard for Baylor last season.
Yeah.
It's not just Caden Jenkins. But, like, I felt like Snacks made some plays. I felt like some other guys rotated. Taz Williams, some other guys, not Taz Williams. I'm mixing up all my. Tevin Williams rotated and made some plays. Caden Jenkins got beat over the top a lot, Pete. He got beat over the top a lot. I'd be interested in what Cam. We should have asked Cam about this. Maybe we can have Cam back and ask Cam. Caden Jenkins got beat over the top a lot last year.
Well, you know, and you could say, and this is a question for Matt Powledge and Dave Aranda, right? But like, was he put in a situation to fail? And the reason I say that was
it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, did they put him on an island too often?
Yes.
Did they try to take advantage of his skill set and blitz, and it backfired?
And that's why I'm putting disclaimers on it. Like I don't think he's a bad kid or a bad football player or whatever.
No,
But like last season was bad. Like I think I can say that really safely. Like it was a bad year for him. It was. He would tell you. I'm sure he would tell you that.
Okay.
You know? But that's why they hired Paul Gonzalez.
Yep.
You know? That's why I think they most aggressively chased safeties and pass rushers in the portal. I don't think he's going to have to be on an island. I think the safeties are better. I think the pass rush is going to be much better. Grayson Grundhafer's reported that as well. Grundhafer, sorry. I'm all my names today.
Grayson Grundhafer.
He's the man. But
he's very good.
We'll see.
It's exciting times.
I think we will know who Caden Jenkins is this year. And let's see. Prove the 84, man. Well, go be an 84.
Look,
let's go.
And this is college football, too. We may find out when the first depth chart comes out before the first game of the season, right? If he's not, like he may, you just never
know. Those big oars next to his name?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of oars. but
Dave Aranda loves his oars.
He loves his oars.
Yeah.
I remember, you know who, Drake Toll used to have the biggest issue with that.
It is annoying. If you're trying to cover a game, it's annoying.
You don't think I know I'm putting boards together before I do play-by-play for a game?
So you can admit it's annoying.
It's a little,
not just Drake that thinks it's annoying.
It's frustrating. Well, that's my point. I was like, I'm calling the game for ESPN. I'm a little annoyed, and I got Drake Toll losing his mind. I was like, well, Drake, like, I don't know. He would always get upset. He would say it was a reflection of where Baylor was as a program, which was not true. And I think Drake would tell you that.
Yeah, but it got him clicks.
Yeah, it's our guy, dude. I'm a big Drake Toll guy. I will be on. I was on Drake Toll Island on day one.
I was too, actually.
And I'll stay.
When he was calling China Spring football in 2020, 2021, I was like,
he's a pain in the ass.
This guy's good.
I sometimes wish, he would play by the rules a little more with sports information people. But hey, he's going to be himself, and that's worked for him. So.
Let's answer this question before we get out of here. Bear the Truth ask.
Yeah.
Any holes or issues you see in the Baylor coaching staff this year?
Scotty, he's always going after the coaches, dude. He is. I
any
see
feedback on that, Pete? What do you think?
No, because you mentioned Gonzalez. I think the retention level of the Baylor staff over the offseason was really good when you just think about Jake
keeping Spav.
Yeah, I mean that's a number one thing. And I think the second year of Aranda being as heavily involved on the defensive side as he was last year can really only improve things.
Well, and yes, and Bear the Truth, I would tell you that is my biggest question mark. Because I would have said before this year, you had to get better on O-line, you had to get better in secondary. Well, Mason Miller's great. That offensive line group from game 1 to game 12 last year progressed the most I've ever seen a group progress in a season. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it went from being the Achilles heel of the offense.
Omar Agbidian is one of the better
he was ranked
in the country.
He was ranked on those rankings. So Mason Miller at offensive line is a huge improvement. Keeping Spav, and then Paul Gonzalez hire is going to be huge, I think, for that secondary. My question is...
They still have the running backs coach who's awesome, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. My question is, Aranda calling plays for the defense, I think is what he should do. I think brought him alive as a head coach last year, in addition to, I think long-term it will make for a better defense for sure. I have questions about Matt Powledge. And it's interesting because as someone in my position, all I hear about him from insiders is that he's amazing. People love Matt Powledge. He was a candidate to go be the head coach at Sam Houston.
Hard not to like, dude. I've sat down with him a few times.
What I know about Matt Powledge is he is an elite recruiter. Like, I know that some of these transfers we've gotten in addition to some of these high school kids that are committing right now. I mean, there's a big buzz in Waco. Like 3 different 4-stars from Waco have now committed to Baylor for next year's class. Powledge, huge hand in that. So I want him on my coaching staff. But it is interesting. He was the defensive coordinator. Baylor struggled. Not just his fault. That whole team struggled. He takes a back seat. He's still, I think, DC.
He is.
By definition, but he's not calling plays.
No.
So just to answer your question, Bear the Truth, I think that's probably a good sign that the thing I'm most worried about is the great recruiter who's kind of the DC who doesn't call plays is my question mark.
Well, that's why I'm with you. But that's why I made the statement I made, because I think that in the second year of, as long as I would hope after last year's production, right, they stay the same. And in the second year of that, like staying congruent, right, I think that will be really effective.
I think, and that is why, to conclude my remarks, I have been so bullish about this season for Baylor football. I cannot remember a time since 2015 where the personnel on the field, the personnel on the sideline, and the conference all seem to align where it's like, Baylor should win this thing. I mean, it is. It's because Dave Aranda, as good as Dave Aranda's been in moments 2021, the turnover on staff has been unreal. Coordinators constantly, it's like a revolving door, right? So what you've pointed out, coaching staff being congruent all the way through. Your all-conference quarterback, your best running back in the conference, receiver, most of your defensive playmakers, 4 of your 5 offensive linemen. And again, I don't think there's one team in this conference right now that is just going to run away with it. All those things aligning. If Baylor doesn't really make some noise this year, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Because all of those things should mean you're right at the top.
And you can hear all of Scotty's heartbreak on Please Bear With Me, a Rogue Media podcast.